before I talk about the album that I chose, I would like to mention that Death's Sound of Perseverance was the first album that I picked up. That's because I was too much into prog rock and prog metal, and Death kind of helped me get back into death and thrash metal and black metal. So, the Sound of Perseverance and Human and Symbolic, of course. So, these are the albums why I got back to these genres. And the album that I'm going to talk about is Dream Theater's A Change of Seasons. I found this album when I was very young. I was like 15, 16 years old. I mean, not as young as a lot of you guys were when you found your favorite music, but yeah, I did. So I was getting into thrash metal and black metal and death metal. And one of those three people who, made me a music fan, introduced me to Dream Theater. And Awake was the first album. And then I bought this MP3, which had this entire discography of Dream Theater, which was like a bootleg MP3, and I dubbed it on an audio cassette and I listened to A Change of Seasons, and it kind of changed the way I looked at music back then. So because it's a very poetic and a very complex album in terms of composition and the musicmanship on that album. Because I think after that album is when Dream Theater changed their whole direction to a very modern sound, is what I'd say. Because early albums like Images and Words were kind of I mean, they were progressive, but they also had a lot of core metal sound to it. So there are five parts to actually this song Change of Seasons was supposed to be released on Images and Words, but they did not do it, and they went ahead and released it as an EP. And there's only one song on it, and the rest of the album is covers. There are five parts to it, and my favorite parts are Carpe Diem, Another World, which is an instrumental. And that's also, this album is also responsible for making me more of a instrumental music fan. Like Vikram mentioned earlier, that the music has to appeal to you before the lyrics. So this album is the album that kind of set me on that path, and it also made me patient enough to get into non-linear forms of music like avant-garde. And of course, this album is not avant-garde as such, but there are non-linear parts to it which kind of make you sit down and actually focus on an album. So yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite albums, and it changed. Like I said, it changed me. I mean, I was getting into thrash and death and black then, and it just picked me out of it and put me onto this path of progressive and avant-garde music, which that brought me back to. So yeah, it's one of my most favorite albums of all time, and it was released in '95, so chose it for today's conversation. Yeah. Oh, and it also, yeah, one more. It also introduced me to Kansas because they covered Kansas Wayward, Carry On My Wayward Son on that album. So it introduced me to Kansas and also Dixie Dregs. So yeah, these are my memories with the album.
Yeah, nice. I like Images and Words a lot. That's I think the only album
Absolutely
that
the best album ever.
yeah I still listen to a lot for Dream Theater. Change of Season I haven't heard in a long time, but I remember really liking the title. So this like runs for about 26 minutes, right?
23 minutes. Yeah,
23
yeah.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it also,
And
like I said, it
Crimson
also made me patient
Hues.
enough to sit through longer songs.
yeah, mhm. But I haven't heard it in years. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's one of those that I should revisit one of these days.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I happen to be, I mean, they played in India in, I think, into 2018.
Huh.
So 2017. So I got to see Imogen Woods, which was like a wish list item of mine. And also, they also
Okay.
played Change of Seasons. So it was a very
Okay.
long set. So I got to see that live as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can speak about it.